Labor Day. We welcome you from Miller Park, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend. School back tomorrow, but today, time to have some fun. We got a day game, matinee baseball, the Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's the first of a three-game series. And the contending Pirates in a first-place tie right now. It's going to be Tyler Thornburg to get the ball for Milwaukee. Thornburg out of the bullpen, back into the starting rotation. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us today alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. And the homestand continues now after a rough series against the Angels. The Brewers turn the page to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Pittsburgh is right there in it, and the Brewers are going to give the ball to a rookie pitcher.
And I think they have enough to contend the rest of the way. I mean, the two acquisitions they were able to get recently, Marlon Byrd and Justin Morneau. I mean, these guys have a lineup that I think could stand the test of time as you get into the month of September. But, they took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. They really took them apart in the first 2 games. Shut them out on Friday, beat them 7-1 on Saturday. And you've got to remember, not that long ago, the Brewers were in Pittsburgh after taking 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, taking 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. So the Brewers looking to play spoiler against a team that is coming off a very big series. They got the even with the St. Louis Cardinals in the Central.
Nobody has made the impact trades like the Pirates have for the August waiver wire deal. Trade deadline. Pittsburgh now in a first-place tie with the Cardinals. The Reds, they're underway with St. Louis. The first annual Bill Schroeder Dollar Dog Day Hot Dog Eating Invitational is underway. That's the other part of the story. We'll get into that when we continue. And the Pittsburgh Pirates Labor Day at Miller Park. And aside from this game, and certainly a very meaningful game for the Pirates, we're also underway with our first annual Bill Schroeder Dollar Dog Hot Dog Eating Contest. And this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is something that's going to raise a lot of money for charity today, right?
All the money is going to go to the Brewers Community Foundation, and the foundation is going to match all the money that we raised today, the 4 people in the contest. And the money right now is going to be going to a homeless veterans organization, and that's a very good cause here in southeastern Wisconsin. All the money raised will stay in Wisconsin. So, gentlemen and Sophia, you may start eating.
Oh, great.
Great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hot dog eating contest is underway. Don't forget there is a fourth contestant, and that is Marcus Hamill,
yes. Yep.
the Brewers bullpen catcher. There he is, Marcus.
There
Good
he
luck.
is. 2 down.
2 down. See, he's already 2, and he had to get started early because he's got to warm up
a lot
Tyler
of catching.
Thornburg. So we'll have a lot of fun today, and we're looking forward to this hot dog eating contest along with some Brewers baseball. By the way, the judge is in place, Professor Weimer. Which rhymes with
he looks
Wiener.
like a judge, doesn't he? He looks pretty good out there.
One comment to this, Augie Doggy.
Doggy, doggy.
Brad, you got to make sure they eat every bit, bread and hot dog.
Oh, that's good.
I think Kobayashi dips
Good
him in
stuff.
water, and that makes it a little better for him. So I'm not sure all the technique, but
This is really good.
Marcus Handel's already 2 hot dogs ahead of you guys, so good luck. All right, we're ready for baseball and some hot dog eating. Dollar Dog Day at Miller Park, Labor Day special here. The Bucks and the Brewers coming up next. It's brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Brewers and the Pirates, and Tyler Thornburg is on the mound for the Brewers. He is coming out of the bullpen into the starting rotation. We showed you Marcus Hanel earlier, our bullpen catcher, and not only is he involved in the hot dog eating contest, he can give us a scouting report on Tyler Thornburg. What do you see out of him, Marcus?
Well, you know, I see he's got a fresh arm right now. He's got a very plus fastball and a big curveball. I think if he keeps the ball down, man, he should have a lot of success today.
Take us through his quick warm-up routine, and as you catch him and loosen him up, difference between being a starter and a reliever.
Well, I think it's a little slower paced. You know, obviously he doesn't get a chance to long toss when he's in the pen. So he comes out here a little early, plays the long toss, gets stretched out. And one of the things is when he's a starter, he can go right to just a routine of controlling that fastball in and out, righties, lefties, and slowly work in his other pitches. When you're in the pen, you hurry up, just try to get your arm loose, and then start getting your other pitches in. So everything's just a little quicker out of the pen. Today he had his chance to get his regular warm-up, and man, I look forward to having great success.
All right, Marcus, thanks, and thanks for being there for us today. We're going to enjoy chatting with you, and good luck in the hot dog eating contest. Clint Hurdle Third-year skipper of the Pirates trying to take this club to the postseason for the first time since 1992. It's been 20 years without a playoff appearance for the Bucks, and as a matter of fact, it's been 20 years without a winning season for the Pirates. So there's a lot on the line for Pittsburgh, and Thornburg's first pitch to Jose Tabata is in there for strike one, and away we go today.
All right, the Pirates have really helped themselves in the last couple of weeks and picking up Marlon Byrd and Justin Morneau. It's a very good lineup for Clint Hurdle to go along with some very good pitching.
John Buck was added as a backup catcher. They have two very good catchers in Russell Martin and John Buck, and they are hopeful to get Starling Marte back, their starting left fielder, and he'll eventually move back into that leadoff role. So Pittsburgh looks like they're primed and ready, and a much different looking lineup this time around, Rock, than what we saw even just a month ago, and it's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, it is an outstanding lineup, and Starling Marte, their tremendous young left fielder and leadoff hitter, he's on the disabled list, but still, no, even without him in the lineup, it's one of the best lineups in all of the National League.
Tabata takes a ball in, just missed. That is Quinn Wolcott calling the balls and strikes today, a young umpire up from the minor leagues. James Hoy, Jim Reynolds, Bob Davidson, the base umpires. So the Pirates coming off a series win against St. Louis. They won the first two games of that series, lost yesterday to the Cardinals, and started that series a game back, and they show up today in a first place tie with St. Louis. The Cardinals are playing Cincinnati right now. The Reds lead 5-2 going into the third inning. Fly ball, Logan Schaefer will run it down, and that's how the day begins for Tyler Thornburg.
Well, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. You saw Logan Schaefer, Carlos Gomez getting today off. Got Ginla and Aoki in left and right. Ramis Ramirez, who got the off day yesterday, he's back at third. Segura, Jeanette, Lucroy very strong up the middle, and Juan Francisco at first base.
Carlos Gomez a little bit banged up. Told Ron Renicky he could use a day off today to try to get the body feeling better again for tomorrow. Neil Walker, the switch hitting second baseman of the Pirates, with one away.
Tyler Thornburg has been fairly impressive this year. I mean, the earned run average under 2. Doesn't have that overpowering fastball that we saw last year, but his off-speed pitches have been very good. Change up, curveball for strikes.
Yeah, 3-0 to Walker. I've got our hot dog eating contest underway. Bill Schroeder got it started, and it is the first annual Bill Schroeder hot dog contest.
And a good thing about that contest, I don't have to eat any.
That's because you're doing all the talking up here.
I'm just doing the instigating, that's all.
We have enlisted Marcus Hanel to represent the booth.
And that's a very good substitution.
Because he can eat for two, and we know that. And Kuz is a game changer. There's a fly ball to right. Aoki makes the play. So let's check in on the set, and this is going to be something we're watching all day. We've got our professor out there, Brad Weimer, and how we looking? What are the numbers? 4. Who's got 4 down? Augie? Oh, 4 total from you 3.
We're all going to be together for a little while until we need a little separation.
It's a team effort right now, guys.
Yeah, we got to get it going as a team effort, and then we see the separation later in the game.
So you
see who's
three
really in it.
You 3 have eaten 4, and Marcus, how many you got in you?
Third one now.
Third one. That's one person, and he's finishing off his third. Okay. See, that's
great.
That's why it's our game. We get to choose who our substitute eater is.
That's right.
And we know how to pick them. Nice going, Kuz.
And for the both of us, we get Marcus Hanel.
So we're 7 into this thing, and we got 8 innings to do this. And by our last tally, we've got about $85 per hot dog eaten, and that number is actually increasing. It's hard for us to gauge how many people have actually joined in the celebration here. They're going to be donating.
Got some players involved, guys in the crew, the television crew.
Andrew McCutchen with a base hit and a base runner on with 2 away. Saw the big shift on the Brewers playing McCutchen to pull. And Jeanette almost came up with a big play.
And one of the most feared hitters that the Brewers face, throughout the season. It doesn't matter what's going on with McCutchen, whether he's hot or cold, although he had a very big month of August. I mean, he's one of those guys who can carry an offense and always seems to hit the ball hard against the Brewers.
What a month of August he had. He had 384 in the month, making a serious bid for the National League Player of the Month. Probably going to come down to maybe McCutchen and Martin Prado, who had a huge month with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Prado hit about 380 with 30 RBIs in 1 month. Wow.
So here's Pedro Alvarez, 32 home runs this year. Has driven in 86. Got a chance to hit 40 with a big month to finish the season. Certainly has a chance to drive in 100 runs if he does that.
He was swinging the bat pretty well in Pittsburgh against Milwaukee. He likes the ball down and in, so you got to avoid that spot. Curveball might not be a real good pitch to this guy.
He is the National League leader in homers, ahead of Goldschmidt. That is a good pitch to Alvarez, the changeup, and he had him out in front.
Yeah, that's the pitch that we didn't see from Thornburg last year. That changeup, the curveball's been good. And his velocity at about 92 to 94. Put some movement on it, able to locate it better. There's the changeup grip. And Alvarez way out in front.
Well, there's been a lot of correlation between this Pirates team and the We Are Family Pirates of the late 70s. And Pedro Alvarez with his home run totals this year, and he has a chance to lead the league in homers. The Pirates haven't had a player lead the league in home runs since Willie Stargell, who was the captain of those We Are Family Pirates ball clubs in the late 70s. Stargell had a 44 homer season in 1973. The last Pirate to lead the league in that category, and Alvarez making a bid at it this year. And that's saying something, considering half of his games are at PNC Park, which is by all means a pitcher friendly ballpark.
Man, unless you get him down the lines, you keep him in the middle of the park, it's tough to get him out. So yeah, that's a big deal. That many home runs in that ballpark.
He's been out ahead of 2 changeups. See what Thornburg goes with here. That's a fastball that didn't miss by much. Man, oh man, that's a call you got to get in a spot like this. Close.
It just seems like umpires unwilling to call that third strike unless it's right down the middle of the plate. How do you take it, first of all? And how do you not call it a strike?
There goes McCutchen, and a swing and a miss. Thornburg pulled the string again on him, and Alvarez down on strikes. And a good start for Tyler Thornburg. Gives up a hit, but a scoreless inning. He's got a good changeup going early. Scoreless in the first. Brewers coming up. Ron Renicky, after a disappointing series against his old club, the Angels, trying for the rebound here today. And a lot of new faces in the lineup today. It's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Aoki back in the leadoff spot with Segura, then Lucroy. And in the middle of the order is Ramirez Jeanette hitting fifth. Caleb Gindel in left field. Juan Francisco, Logan Schaefer, and Tyler Thornburg rounded out.
And Charlie Morton making start number 15. This is back-to-back starts against the Brewers. He beat Milwaukee 7-1 last week to not allow an earned run. He's been very good. He's 5-1 since the All-Star break.
The Roy Halladay lookalike, Charlie Morton, was very good against Milwaukee, and he's been a nice addition to this Pirates roster, coming back from surgery last year on his pitching arm. Aoki comes in batting .285. Brewers getting swept by the Angels over the weekend, and with 3 to play, hoping to continue their recent success against the Pirates. Milwaukee took 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh last week. Looks like the 5 teams in the National League for the postseason are pretty much set, barring a miraculous collapse or comeback by the Arizona Diamondbacks or a collapse by the Cincinnati Reds. But there's a lot of cushion between the 5th team and the 6th team. Now it's all about who's going to win the division, which is very tightly contested right now with the National League Central. But it would appear at this point that there are going to be 3 teams from the National League Central to make it to the postseason this year.
And that's a big deal. You want to win the division. You don't want to have to be involved in that wild card play-in game.
Did that get him? I think it did. And a hit batter to start it offensively for the Brewers. Aoki trying to skip rope, but it got a piece of his foot, and he is aboard.
I'm not sure. It was a breaking pitch that Aoki tried to jump out of the way. Must have got him in the foot. And there you see it gets him right in the foot, the back foot. Did his best to try and get out of the way. So a leadoff base runner for the Brewers.
Well, there was a time for a long time that a leadoff base runner or any base runner at first base usually ended up in a stolen base against the Pirates. They have been among the worst in the league throwing out runners until this season. And Russell Martin has changed all of that. What an addition he's been. Not just his bat. He's a great game caller and one of the best throwing catchers in the National League.
Throwout percentage of 47%. He's thrown out 26 base runners this year. That's the most in the National League.
Gene Segura takes a strike.
Matter of fact, that's the most in all of baseball.
And when you have a catcher, and a lot like Yadier Molina with the Cardinals, when you have a catcher that forces you into a station to station type of offense, or he's eliminating base runners from the base paths, and you're running into outs, that changes the complexion of the game a little bit. I think a little bit of the credit goes to the Pirates pitching staff as well. They have made an emphasis to keep runners close and try to limit the running game more this year.
Yeah, keep a guy at first. You keep that double play alive. The Brewers, or I should say the Pirates, amongst league leaders in turning double plays. They have 129 of them.
You don't turn double plays when you're giving up stolen bases. Strange to see Justin Morneau over there in a Pirates uniform.
Yeah, his whole career as a Minnesota Twin.
Just his 2nd game with Pittsburgh after the waiver wire trade deadline ending the last day of August. Slow roller out to Walker. His only play is first, and he gets Segura. Aoki will advance, and the first out for Charlie Morton.
An interesting look for the Brewers lineup today. Every one of Ron Renicky's left-handed hitters are in the lineup. That's 5 of them against Charlie Morton, who has allowed a .317 batting average to left-handers and only .246 against right-handers. So the Brewers skipper playing the percentages.
Once you get past Aramis Ramirez, who's due to hit next, you get into a string of 4 lefties. And as you turn the lineup over, 5 out of 6 in the batting order from the left side once you get back to Aoki. So Norrie at second for Lucroy. Had a couple of narrow misses yesterday with the bases loaded. Still continues to hit. Lucroy comes in batting .290. When you think about where he started this year, the first 6 weeks, that is an impressive run at the plate for a long period of time.
Yeah, very impressive at bat, won by Ernesto Frieri yesterday. A 12 pitch at bat. Lucroy missed hitting bases clearing doubles twice. Once down the right field line, once down the left field line. Missed it by inches. Ended up going down on strikes.
Norrie hit by a pitch. Now at second with 1 away. Lucroy trying to deliver the first run of the game. He's been good in spots like this, hitting near 300. Check the Pirates defensively. Statistically overall, they're about average, but most of those errors, Rock, coming from Pedro Alvarez at third base.
Man, a lot of those came early on, throwing errors. Alvarez played a very good third base in Pittsburgh against Milwaukee, and the addition of Justin Morneau is going to help them tremendously. A very good defensive first baseman.
Alvarez with 25 errors for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. He's committed 25 of their 94 errors as Lucroy strikes out. And the second out of the inning.
Number 16, third baseman, Aramis Ramirez.
And now the former Pirate, Aramis Ramirez, will bat. A breaking ball by Morton getting Lucroy to chase.
Yeah, that was a very good pitch for him back in Pittsburgh against Milwaukee. Got a lot of outs, kept the ball down, did not make a mistake with that pitch throughout the game.
Now Ramirez, he caught fire in Pittsburgh, had a couple of home runs at PNC Park that last road trip. Coming back from the disabled list, took him a while to get his bat back in rhythm, his timing. Ramos did not go down to the minor leagues for a minor league rehab. He came straight back to the big leagues after a little over a month on the disabled list. And you could tell he was a little rusty when he came back, but he looks like his old self right now. He says he's feeling better. He's not running all that well, but he's not experiencing any pain either in his right knee.
Well, that shows up at the plate, and defensively he's moving around much better at third base. Brewers hope to get some production out of him this month of September, but I think more importantly to have Ramirez come back into spring training next year completely healthy with no problems with that knee.
Morton has him down, a ball and 2 strikes. And Ramirez takes one down and in. 2-2 now.
And Morton's got one of the better sinking fastballs that you'll see. It's a lot of ground ball outs. The ball sinks at about 92, 93 miles an hour. And you've seen that curveball that he's throwing. 2 pretty good pitches.
And a little slow roller out to Walker, and that will retire the side. Morton a scoreless inning, and we're headed to the second. Labor Day baseball at Miller Park.
move to the second inning. Marcotte got it back at the stadium. On this Labor Day, we put together the all-time Brewer Labor team featuring former Brewers whose last names are also jobs. Steve Barber, Josh Butler, Chris Carpenter, Cecil Cooper, Ed Farmer, Jim Hunter, Mike Marshall, Doc Medich, Damian Miller, Lance Painter, Darrell Porter, Bill Schroeder, and Floyd Weaver. You might be saying, wait a minute, what about Bill Schroeder? Well, our producer, Wave Robinson, tells me that in German, Schroeder can mean being a tailor or a beer delivery guy. Rock, I'm guessing you were never a beer delivery guy, but I'm guessing you've accepted a few deliveries?
Yeah, well, I've never been a seamstress, that's for sure.
Or
a tailor. And, I think I'd rather be the beer delivery guy. I do a lot of that anyway.
That was a good one. That was a sneaky one there on Labor Day. Schroeder.
I knew that. I knew that Schroeder in German, or they say Schroeder. Kind of the umlaut.
Okay. Whatever you say.
That's part of the coat of arms that we have, the tailor type thing. Clothing maker. But the beer one's new to me. I think Wave made that up to make me feel better.
Now here's one of the new Pirates acquisitions, Marlon Byrd. He and John Buck coming from the New York Mets in a late August deal. 5 games with the Pirates for Byrd. He's hit safely in all 5, and he's driven in 5 runs. 7 for 19 at the plate. And Thornburg strikes him out. Boy, good pitch.
Another changeup. Boy, he's got a good one going today. They got Alvarez, and now he gets Marlon Byrd down and in. Well, he's got a good feel for that pitch.
Well, Marcus Hanel is joining us in the Brewers bullpen, the bullpen catcher. Among other things, he is offering up the hot dog eating contest. But Mark, as you said, Tyler had a good changeup down there today, and he's come out of the gates with a beauty so far.
Yeah, it's been really impressive. He's keeping it down in the zone and getting a lot of swings and misses.
How's the hot dog eating situation for you? And do you have any more recruits that you can report?
I do. So far, the guys down here in the bullpen have all decided to chip in $5 for every hot dog I eat. Except for Kinsler. He's already sponsoring another horse in the race. So, so right now I'm just going to wait for the other guys to get down here. We'll hopefully get some more guys to back me up.
All right, well, later you can tell Brandon Kinsler, you can ask him why the long face. There's Brandon Kinsler sponsoring another horse in the race. So, by the way, the horses are Marcus, who's like a Clydesdale, and then you've got Sophia,
Augie and Craig.
Augie and Craig.
Yep.
So those are the 4 horsemen, if you will, in our hot dog eating contest today. It's Dollar Dog Day here at Miller Park.
Yeah, my money was on Sophia before Marcus joined the fray.
Tiny frame, impressive eater.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well, Justin Morneau's first appearance at Miller Park in a Pirates uniform.
Another guy that's always been very good against Milwaukee, Justin Morneau, is a member of the Twins. Yeah, very good opposite field hitter. Very good at going to left center field and makes pretty good contact for a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Sounded like he broke his bat. Schaefer's got a long way to go, and Schaefer runs it down. Logan Schaefer with a great jump, using maybe his ears as much as his eyes, and able to run that down for the second out.
And it sounded like it was right down on the end of the bat. Another Tyler Thornburg changeup and good speed out in center field, able to make the catch. Schaefer got a good jump on that baseball.
So 2 up and 2 down for Thornburg. Schaefer in there for Carlos Gomez today. And here's Russell Martin, little soft liner to Segura. 3 up, 3 down. Thornburg with 2 scoreless. They're plowing away. Dr. Weiner says 9. Better hustle it up down there.
today's time of the game winner, the Blue Moon Bar and Grill in Madison. They call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
Second to last homestand of the year. The final homestand is coming up, and don't forget, on September 15th, the Brewers take on the Reds at 1:10, and all fans in attendance will receive a Ben Oglivie bobblehead. Compliments of Waukesha Metal Products. Just visit Brewers.com for tickets. One last homestand to go after this one, after we wrap up this series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Charlie Morton will face Scooter Gennett to start the second inning. Gennett hitting in the 5 spot today for Ron Roenicke. With no Carlos Gomez available, this starts the string of left-handers for the Brewers. 4 in a row coming up against Charlie Morton.
In a run production spot in the batting order. How about that for Scooter? Usually leads off when Aoki's out of the lineup. He's been down in the 7th and 8th spots this year, and it seems like regardless of where Roenicke puts him, he hits.
Scooter has not hit 5th this year and said he couldn't really remember a time when he hit 5th in a batting order. Most of his career coming up even as an amateur and up through pro ball. When he was drafted and signed out of high school, he was the leadoff hitter. A little bouncer over to third. Alvarez makes the play for out number 1. Now we are raising money for Brewers Community Foundation. The hot dog eating contest is underway, and a potential rules infraction with Sophia.
What?
Not sure. Are you leaving some of the bun behind, Sophia?
Well.
No, we're not doing that. We're just kind of stockpiling out here. That's all.
Stockpiling, yes.
Eat it at the end, right?
Right.
Now you look like a secret sauce person, Sophia.
Well, it's all about strategy with the condiments. I'm going with the secret stadium sauce. And Kreger, what are you doing?
I've got the Coops mustard, the brown mustard going right now, but we're just talking about this. You're going to do that the whole game?
Yeah.
You're not going to mix it up.
Don't mess with a good thing.
No flavor buds, not crying out for a different mustard.
Nope. I'm all in on secret stadium sauce.
I've had secret stadium sauce, yellow mustard, brown mustard, ketchup. Number 5, here we go.
Hey, Craig,
this is going to be an all-time record, by the way, for one sitting. Guaranteed.
Craig, is the judge freaking you out a little bit?
That's Dr. Wiener.
You are not kidding.
Coos, how you
just look at him?
Look at him.
Give him a nudge and make sure he's alive.
I'm glad I don't have to look at anybody.
Marcus, how many are you in right now?
I have done 6.
Wow, Juan Francisco. That is a fair ball just inside the line. Francisco in the second with a double, so 2 quick outs, and with the big shift on, playing Francisco to pull, he goes to the opposite field down the line, and the Brewers have a runner in scoring position and the first hit for Milwaukee.
Yeah, one of the few times that Morton has left one of those fastballs upstairs. Left it right down the middle of the plate. 94 miles an hour. You can see the grip, the rotation. Ended up right down the middle, and Francisco slices it just inside that left field line.
Well, Francisco, who has been mired in a long slump at the plate, comes up with a 2-out double, and we'll see if Logan Schaefer can cash it in. Schaefer hitting 8th today. Logan has been nursing a sore knee, and he fell ill on the last road trip, Cincinnati, and then first game in Pittsburgh. Had a little virus that he was trying to play through. And he pops it up. This is foul and back out of play. And a ball and a strike on Schaefer. I know Logan's disappointed. His opportunity came. Ryan Braun was suspended. He was headed to left field to be basically the everyday left fielder, but then that knee injury cost him a couple of games. Ultimately, Chris Davis came up. Chris Davis caught fire, and he ended up getting most of the playing time in left field. So Schaefer kind of back in that 4th outfielder role. getting the start today for Carlos Gomez. Schaefer is an excellent defender and most comfortable, most at home in center field, the position he's played most of his career coming up in the Brewer system. And a swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
Man, that is one nasty breaking pitch from Charlie Morton.
He has been a difference maker for the Pirates. They have a deep rotation. They have Liriano and Burnett at the top of their rotation. And then you add a healthy Charlie Morton. And you could see the Pirates making a run in the postseason this year. Bouncing ball, and that gets by Walker. They're going to send Francisco. No throw. Francisco is in, and the Brewers have the first lead today.
All right, good job by Schaefer going down to get that curveball. And Walker stretched out, tried to smother it to keep it in the infield, but could not do it. Juan Francisco never slowed down around third base. The Brewers take an early lead. Watch him go down. Goes down and gets it. And just out of the reach, he knocked it down, but squirted into center field, allowing Francisco to score.
Francisco with 2 outs, running all the way. That's Cedar sending him home, and the Brewers are on the board, and the Brewers get a hit and an RBI from their 8th place hitter.
That was actually a changeup from Morton that time. Not a curveball, but a changeup down and away. And Schaefer, good piece of hitting to go down and get it.
So here's Thornburg, who can handle the bat for a pitcher. Numbers don't show it. Runner takes off. Schaefer, the throw to second. He is late. And a risky steal attempt by Schaefer, but he's in there.
Yeah. You don't want to be caught stealing with the pitcher up, then have him be forced to lead off the next inning. He had a pretty good jump and pretty good throw by Martin. A little bit to the third base side if you want to nitpick the throw. But Schaefer stole that one on Charlie Morton. Didn't pay much attention to him.
Well, we'll see if Thornburg can cash in his first RBI of the season. Thornburg was a college outfielder. He was a two-way player as an amateur. Bouncing ball. Walker will make the play to win the inning. Well, Brewers score first today on Labor Day. Logan Schaefer with an RBI, 1-0 Milwaukee. Shoulders whiff. Tyler Thornburg has had a good changeup today, and that changeup got a whiff from Pedro Alvarez. That ended the first inning. And 2 strikeouts for Tyler Thornburg. 2 scoreless innings for the right-hander with just 1 hit allowed. A good Labor Day gathering here at Miller Park. School starts tomorrow for most of the Wisconsin school system. I want to send all the kids best of luck, all the teachers best of luck as well. Our AT&T Twitter poll, we're asking you today who will eat the most hot dogs. Craig, Jerry, Sophia, or Marcus Hannell representing us in the booth. And Marcus is going in deep, and as we knew he would. How many in, Marcus?
This is number 7.
7, and you're kind of hiding behind the wall. Why is that?
Well, I don't want to make it too obvious to everybody what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that's a good idea.
Never mind that our cameras are on you, Marcus. You just keep doing what you're doing. We're enjoying. Any good bullpen banter going on today you could share with us?
Well, we were getting on Kinser for sponsoring only one horse, so now I think he wants to do them all.
Yeah, you shamed him into it.
We did. Hey, man, this is what it's all about, for charity.
Right, $5 for every hot dog eaten between the 4 of you, right?
Yes, so now it's $5 for all the hot dogs for all of us. Thanks, Kinser. We appreciate it.
Anyway, put them down on the list.
That is another world down there, isn't it? By the way, Coos, I do want to ask you real quick, because you're helping us out today. You have a great charity called Coos for Kids, a nonprofit that does great work. And can you give us just a quick summary of how things went for your organization this year as Parma singles up the middle? Go ahead, Coos.
Yeah, it went well. We switched venues, try to give the people coming a little different thing to see. And with the great help of Milwaukee Zoo, we were able to put on another event and raise a lot of money again. So we're in the process now as school starts to contact schools for the kids of need who might need jackets as it gets cold. I know it's warm right now. We kind of forget about it, but we're in the process again to get some coats to some kids in need and obviously some terminally ill kids that we are helping out ourselves.
Great. That's great to hear. Marcus Hannell, and he's participating in our hot dog eating contest. He does great work, Marcus. And,
and Jill, his wife, who I hope is not planning on a big meal after the game tonight.
Hot dogs for everyone. Is that ketchup in the bullpen? I think it is. Yeah, something you don't see every day. Ketchup in the bullpen. Now Charlie Morton with a runner at first. Oh, I see. That's how the ketchup got there. Coos went on a recruiting mission.
Yeah, from Fridays.
For the condiment.
So the folks at Fridays helping out. I mean, that's what I've been told about, eating content. You got to change up the flavors. You can't have the same flavor over and over again throughout. You got to switch it up. Maybe some mustard, some ketchup, maybe throw some relish.
Fans willing to oblige. Yeah, right above the bullpen.
Concourse tables at Fridays.
There's a bunt, and Thornburg will make the play for the out. Sacrifice bunt for Charlie Morton. Coos, just real quick, I hate to keep bugging you, but how do you come about getting ketchup? And is that something that you do often?
It's amazing what a baseball will do for a fan. You need a little something up there, and some ketchup comes down. Got to have a little flavor to these hot dogs. I'm not sure if they're getting fresh ones down there in the corner, but mine been sitting here since like 12:30, so I'm doing the best I can.
That's true. That's Yeoman's work he's doing down there.
He makes an excellent point.
Yeah.
If you don't know the story, Coos once ate 18 cheesesteaks in 3 days in Philadelphia.
Which is probably equivalent to about 4 of these hot dogs. I mean, minimum. Wouldn't you think? I mean, those cheesesteaks are huge.
Yeah, per one cheesesteak, 4 hot dogs. I would say. I
think he broke the all-time bullpen catcher record for eating cheesesteaks.
Shattered it.
Yeah.
He shattered it. And that's a real thing, by the way.
That was a couple of years ago.
And we wish Coos good luck at the bullpen catcher eating awards ceremony in December. Tabata lines one to left, and coming in to score is Clint Barmas. And the Pirates have quickly tied it here in the 3rd inning. Jose Tabata, the Pittsburgh leadoff hitter. So they use the bunt to get the runner in scoring position, and they cash it in. 1-1 ball game here in the 3rd.
And quick hands on a pitch in on him and able to fight it off. Sounded like it got down on his hands a little bit. It did, but Tabata with the quick hands pulls the bat in and able to get the base hit. Pirates have been going along pretty well without Starling Marte. I mean, that's one of the better young players in all of baseball. He can hit, he can throw. Very good defensively, and he can steal bases.
Well, they feel like they've weathered the storm, that their last road trip, and then dropping 2 out of 3 to the Brewers last week, but they didn't fall too far out of the race. At one point, Pittsburgh had a 4-game lead. And just a little over a month ago, a 4-game lead in the division. So they still lead the division. They're tied with the Cardinals. Cincinnati still in the picture. The Reds coming into play today, 3.5 back. Cincinnati is playing St. Louis today. And they are at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. And those teams are going to play a lot against each other. All of these contending teams in the division.
Yeah, 6-2 Cincinnati right now.
Cincinnati has a 6-2 lead over Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals today, by the way. And that one is now headed to the 7th inning.
Wainwright's had his troubles last couple of starts. He gave up 9 earned runs his last time out.
Ball and a strike on Neil Walker with Tabata at first. He takes off, and a high fly ball center field way back. Schaefer at the track makes the play. Tabata has to retreat. Walker gave it a ride. He must have just missed it on the bat.
Yeah, tomahawked a high pitch and nearly hit it out of here about halfway onto the warning track. Pirates are used to that, hitting a ball well and having it die into somebody's glove.
Take a look at our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery. Schaefer making an impact with his glove already. This was earlier, running down one against Justin Morneau in the 2nd inning.
You see he can go in, and that last one able to go back. He just kind of glided back there to make an easy catch.
So 2 men are out. Here is McCutchen.
I don't think there's a hitter in baseball that has done more to hurt the Brewers than Andrew McCutchen over the years. Incredible.
How about those numbers? Since the beginning of last season, he leads all opponents the Brewers have had in hits, homers, runs batted in. And even his out seems like line drive outs.
Right. It's going to be a Central Division player that's going to be on that list because you play those your own division, 17, 18 times a year. But McCutchen, even his outs, as you mentioned, have been hit right on the nose.
A defensive swing there on an off-speed pitch. And it's 2-1. McCutchen is right there in the group for the most valuable player award in the National League. I think Yadier Molina's on that list. I would add Clayton Kershaw to the list. I know a lot of folks object to having a pitcher in the mix, but Kershaw's had such a dominant year. He's in there. You could also, if you want to make the pitching argument, you could add Craig Kimbrell to the list as well. He's had a huge impact for the Braves this season, closing games. Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks, who is 2nd in the league in homers to Alvarez. Certainly a candidate as well.
American League, a little bit different situation. You got Miguel Cabrera, you got Chris Davis. I think the Cy Young Award's pretty much wrapped up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Max Scherzer in the American League, you're talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the National League, Kershaw would certainly be the favorite at this point. Although Zach Greinke is putting up quite a finish to his season. He's got a chance to be the pitcher of the month in August. Got another win last night. Dr. Wiener
can I have
says
the
15.
Can I have the ketchup this time? I'm
here?
giving you back your stadium sauce because you just always want that.
At least this is gluten-free, Craig. I don't have to count calories
I don't
here.
even know what gluten is.
Starting to get a little agitated out there.
Did Augie give up already?
Well, Augie's somewhere else eating, and we're not quite sure where because I'm not sure we have an official judge wherever Jerry is right now. So, but we're going to count whatever he says because he's an honest man.
That's one of the front runners that no longer eating. That's not good.
As McCutcheon draws the walk. I see the Pepto's out already. That's
that's
Yeah.
out.
third inning.
That's
What
for
am I
the,
on,
that's for the
Brad?
later innings.
Dr. Wiener, what am I on? Is this my 7th? 6th? This one's my 7th.
I'm going for 5. Rock, this one's for you.
Okay, go ahead, Sophie. I got my money on you, you know.
So bottom line, if you guys out there want to contribute as well, if we have our group here that we put together our tally, and it's $90 per hot dog that we've assembled from the bullpen, some of the players, us here in the booth. I think the marketing department is involved.
Yep, we got some of the camera folks and the folks in the production truck. Our producer and director have donated money.
So, but if you'd like to join in, we don't have anything officially set up, but you can make a pledge. Just go on the honor system, make a pledge, and then when it's all said and done, send your donation, which is tax deductible, to the Brewers Community Foundation. Just write on the memo on your check, just write hot dog eating contest.
Be nice.
And then where's the money earmarked for again?
Oh, it's going to the Brewers Community Foundation. They're going to match all the money that we raise here, and it's going to go to a homeless veterans organization here in Milwaukee. So all the money will stay local.
Great.
That we raised today.
100% tax deductible as well. Now Pedro Alvarez with 2 on and 2 out. Big pitch coming here for Thornburg, and a big batter faced as he pumps a strike in there. A fastball is in there for the second strike.
Well, you figure that Alvarez is going up there looking for a changeup, because all 3 of the strikes that he got on Alvarez were changeups, and maybe the reason I was able to slip that fastball by him right there.
Two on, 2 out. Thornburg deals, and Alvarez in the air to right. Looks playable for Aoki, and he's got it to end the inning. Went with a fastball that time. They're chowing away on the set. Dr. Wiener keeping a close eye and terrible handwriting.
United Association.
One as we move to the bottom of the third, and you can have a great time at the ballpark. Come on out to Miller Park as the Brewers take on the Reds Friday, September 13th through Sunday, September 15th. For tickets, call 414-902-4000, or you can visit Brewers.com as the final homestand of the season begins. Coming up shortly, guys.
That's hard to believe, isn't it? It's going to be a 3-opponent homestand to finish the season. The Brewers actually finish on the road this year. They go to Atlanta and then New York. So the last homestand begins on the 13th. The Reds and then the Cubs for 4, and then the Cardinals for 3. 10-game homestand to finish it off at Miller Park. Top of the order coming up. Nori Aoki leads off. Pirates get a run in the third, answer the Brewers' run scoring inning in the second. As Aoki into shallow right center, falling fast, and that's down, a base hit. And Aoki on his way to second. The throw comes in off the mark. So Nori with good hustle. We saw that Bird was fumbling the ball in right field, and he takes the extra base.
Yep, hitting in there, and then Nori ended up into second base in scoring position. So good hustle by Aoki out there. And Marlon Bird, he's trying to track it, a high fastball from Charlie Morton. I think Bird got a little bit too close to the baseball, kind of fumbled it, and Aoki never slowed down around first base and got in there easily. So a good hustle by Nori to get into scoring position.
Single and an error on Bird to get Nori into second base to start this inning. Now Gene Segura shows bunt. Morton misses. Segura is an excellent bunter. He's the leader in the major leagues in infield hits, and a lot of those coming on bunt singles. So while he might be up there to try to sacrifice Aoki, he's always a threat to beat one out and turn it into a hit.
Man, you never know. You put the ball into the hands of Pedro Alvarez, you might throw one down the line.
The Pirates' third baseman has committed 25 errors this season. A quarter of the errors the Pirates have committed have come from one place.
Yeah. And mostly throwing errors. But he's tightened it up. He's been at 25 for a while.
Segura swinging away, bouncing ball to short, and Parmas, and that is an out. Oh man, you got to be kidding.
Boy,
Segura looked like he beat it out. James Hoy rings him up.
Yeah. Could have gone either way. Garth Ward's having a chat with James Hoy over there, and well, it sounded like, or it looked like he was safe, but this will be a better look at it. Wow. I guess it's tough to really complain about that call either way.
That's as close as it gets.
Yeah. To hang with him for Gene Segura. When you see Garth Ward's react like this, you know that it's a pretty close play. That's about as much emotion as you're going to get out of Garth.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, even with the slowdown, the super slow-mo camera we have, the Exmo.
Yeah, really no complaining about that call.
Infield in for Lucroy. Despite the ground out, Segura able to advance Aoki to third. And Lucroy trying to drive in the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the third. A bouncer, Alvarez coming to the plate, and now Aoki in a rundown. And he'll be tagged out. Throw to second. Lucroy is out. Yikes. Bad way to end that inning for the Brewers. Lucroy cut down trying to advance. And 2 outs on the bases to end the threat. And the Brewers come up empty. Puttout goes 5-2, 5-4. And a double play to end it. Top of the 4th inning, Tyler Thornburg back at it. Brewers just run themselves out of an inning. And it is still even at 1 as Thornburg has given up just the 1 run. It came last inning. Tabata with an RBI single. And now Marlon Byrd ready to lead off. Byrd, Morneau, and Martin. Marlon Byrd with 22 home runs this season. That is a career high. Pops this one up a mile high out to Logan Schaefer. And 1 pitch and 1 out for Tyler Thornburg. Brewers baseball today on Fox Sports Wisconsin, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And a cloudy day, just comfortable, nice and cool. Perfect day. You know the hitters like this day today without the extreme shadows of day baseball.
Yep, sun coming in and out, and nice cool temperatures. You thinking this is the beginning of fall? What do you think?
I think we're there. That last heat wave coming through last week. There might be one more. So yeah, football is underway. The Brewers wrapping up their season. We get to the final month of the season. And the Brewers are going to have a lot to say in who advances as the division winner or the wild card teams in the National League this year, with so many matchups against the contenders, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Reds. Brewers still have 2 series remaining against St. Louis. That'll be the next road trip. Next week headed to St. Louis after a series in Chicago. As Morneau draws the walk. It's the 2nd walk issued by Thornburg.
Yeah, the Brewers go into Atlanta in the last week of the season, but you know, the Braves are, what are they? A few games away from clinching already. They got a 14-game lead.
Yeah, they're already talking magic number in Atlanta, which I think is down into the low 20s at this point, if I'm not mistaken. With a month to play, or less than a month to play. The last day of the regular season is the 29th of September. Even as the Nationals have gotten hot, they've won 7 of 10. The Braves have won 6 of 10. And they've only been able to pick up 1 game, the Nationals. That's a 14-game lead right now in the National League East. And that's all but over.
Yep, 2 teams already eliminated from postseason, Houston and Miami. And that's pretty early for that.
The division leaders right now, the Braves, Pirates, and Cardinals are tied. And then in the West, the Dodgers have an 11.5 game lead over the Diamondbacks. Dodgers have won 4 in a row. And they've won 51 of 64 games. So their last 64 games, right? They've won 51 of them.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Braves have the best record in all of baseball at 83 and 53, 30 games over.
And the Braves playing 500 on the road.
Right.
Go figure. They're 30 games over at home.
Half swing roller out to Jeanette. He'll throw to first. They get the out there. Now Morneau in a rundown. And Segura will tag him out.
Well done.
Yes, indeed. Nice play by Jeanette. Stopped the runner, got the out, and they turn it into 2 to end the inning. So we are still tied at 1. And a couple of outs on the base paths the last few innings. UK hanging out with us today at Miller Park. Looks like they're from Scotland. Our crew in the community today. Well, we talked about the whiff by Head and Shoulders, and each month the MLB club who racks up the most whiff tweets will earn a $10,000 donation for the local RBI League. And for the season, a total of $80,000 in donations to local RBI leagues is up for grabs. So when a pitcher from the Brewers strikes out an opposing batter, fans should tweet the hashtag whiff to @Brewers in order for the tweet to count. Charlie Morton back to work as we head to the bottom of the fourth. The Brewers and the Pirates all tied at 1. Each club with 3 hits. Brewers RBI came from Logan Schaefer, had a 2-out single in the second inning, and then Jose Tabata with a 1-out single in the third. As Ramirez whistles one to center field, a base hit. Jumping on the first pitch. Ramirez singles to start it, and for the third time today, Rock, the Brewers have their leadoff batter aboard.
And that was a nice swing by Ramirez. That ball was trying to get in on his hands. Watch him pull his hands in and open up those hips, the belt buckle right at Morton. But the key to that is keeping those hands close to the body to be able to get the barrel of the bat on the baseball, and he's able to shoot that one like a rocket into center field.
Scooter Gennett with Ramirez at first. Scooter hitting .339 down the left field line. Tabata is there for out number 1. And you get the idea with the Brewers getting, or at least trying to be aggressive with Morton and trying to get after him early in counts.
Yeah, he likes to get ahead. He doesn't walk too many. 21 walks in his first 14 starts. So normally your first strike is the best one to hit. And the one thing the Brewers don't want to have to deal with is that curveball that he really did a nice job with in that start against the Brewers in Pittsburgh. That is a good pitch.
Caleb Gendel. Gendel last time up grounded to second. He swung at the first pitch. That'll slice foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gendel. Gendel showing bunt that time, and he takes a ball. Not a bad idea. Alvarez plays deep, and as Rock mentioned, he's had his troubles throwing the baseball.
And plus he's off the line too. You get one down the line, that's going to be a tough throw for him.
Charlie Morton beat the Brewers during the last road trip for Milwaukee. That was on the 28th of August. He went 6 2/3 with 1 run, which was unearned. A 7-1 Pittsburgh victory. That was the middle game of that 3-game series and the only win for the Pirates in that set. Morton has not lost a game in a month. August 1st, his last loss. Took a loss against the Cardinals at home, giving up 5 earned runs to St. Louis. Broken bat, foul ball.
Yeah, before today's game, his last 5 starts, he's 3-0 and had only allowed 7 runs. So he's been throwing the baseball well. 5-1 since the All-Star break. Matter of fact, that win against the Brewers in Pittsburgh, his first career win against Milwaukee. Before that one, he was 0-4. But he looks like a much different pitcher these days.
And Gendel draws the walk. So Martin got ahead of him early, but Gendel hangs tough and draws the free pass. Now 2 on with 1 out for Juan Francisco.
Next batter, number 21, first baseman.
And we send it down to Mark Concannon.
BA, the sports and highlight show you've been waiting for is here. It's Fox Sports Live. Jay Allwright, Dan O'Toole, joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, Carissa Thompson, bringing you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1. And guys, Justin Morneau has a long-time routine before home games in Minnesota. He had a routine where he would stop at a Jimmy John's in St. Paul and get a turkey Taub sandwich with sprouts. So 2 questions. What will his routine be now in Pittsburgh? And secondly, how do you think he would do in our hot dog eating contest? Do you think he could take Marcus?
I don't know, but he'd fit perfectly in our freaky fast delivery of the game, our sponsor, Jimmy John's. So way to go, Mark. A little tapper. And Walker's going to second for 1. And that's all the Pirates will get. So Francisco reaches on a fielder's choice. Little weak ground ball for the second out. And that'll leave it up to Logan Schaefer again with 2 outs and men on base.
And getting that lead out to taking at least one guy out of scoring position. And Ramirez over at third base. Let's see if Charlie Morton's going to be aggressive with Schaefer here with Tyler Thornburg due up next. Thornburg with a 2-out single. That was back in the second inning to score the only run for the Brewers.
So Schaefer with runners at first and third. First ball swinging. Pulls it foul. Just thinking about how many hot dogs are being consumed today. Not just by our group with the dog eating contest, but it's Dollar Dog Day today at the ballpark. And everywhere you look, hot dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a giant hot dog fest. Making them as fast as they can.
Now, if you were a betting man, who would you be betting on in the sausage race today?
Oh, definitely chorizo. Oh, no, I get it. You mean the hot dog.
Come on, play along a little bit. Come on. Help me out.
Yeah, the crush is on. Building up the calorie intake. Nothing like a dog at the ballpark.
Yeah,
right?
they look pretty good. I might head back and grab me one.
I don't know. You're going to have to go stand in line. We may lose you for a few innings. Two and one to Schaefer. And a spinner in there low. 3 balls and a strike. I want to thank Lorraine and Sharon for preparing the hot dogs for our little competition. I feel like we should create something that could trend on Twitter at this point. Maybe Dr. Wiener. Hashtag Dr. Wiener.
Yeah, I think he's the one guy I look at as soon as that set shot is made.
Schaefer draws the walk. There's Dr. Wiener back there. He's those 3, Augie, Sophia, and Craig, are 17 hot dogs in, and Marcus Hanel representing the booth. He is 9 in by himself, and he's the bullpen catcher.
My man back there, Dr. Wiener. Not allowed to move, not allowed to talk, has not blinked his eyes.
So the bases are loaded. Tyler Thornburg, the pitcher, looking for his first career major league run batted in. This would be a good time for him. So at this point, we're only in the 4th inning. We've raised over $2,300, which will be matched by the Brewers. Thornburg is 0 for 10 at the plate this season. Had a hit last year. And then a 1-2 count. Well, Thornburg was a good hitter in college and a good center fielder in college. Never faced anything quite like Charlie Morton as far as stuff goes, I'm sure. Bases loaded, 2 gone. And the 1-2, a swing and a miss. Thornburg strikes out, and Morton strands the bases loaded. Little baseball, little hot dog eating contest, and they're cranking away as fast as they can.
Look at her go with the sign. That is the best. We're going to have to bring her a hot dog out here. We're down 19. This is going to be 20. And we may go above 20. We're starting to slow down just a hair here.
This is like halftime, guys. We have until the bottom of the night. This is halftime. The score's 0-0.
And then we're going to
bring it for the second half.
We're going to get a speech from you, and we're going to go. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going indeed. We're going to keep going. The Brewers are going to keep going. They're just starting this series against the first place Pittsburgh Pirates. Garrett Cole tomorrow against Giovanni Gallardo. We're on the air at 6:30 tomorrow with Brewers Live pregame. And Yo starting to turn things around. He's on a good roll right now. Jerry, no doubt about that. He's pitching well.
Yeah, he's really throwing the ball well. You know, the thing he's done, he's got good command of all his pitches, been able to get ahead of hitters. So important when you're pitching, and Yo is in a groove right now.
What do you think of Thornburg so far?
Throwing the ball well. He does start right where he finished off when he started last. He's commanding the strike zone, using all his pitches, and his changeup has been a good pitch for him.
All right, 3 more dogs on the order slate, guys.
All right, good luck to you guys. You guys might want to take a walk or go climb that Mountain Dew wall or something, like burn
That's
some
a good
calories.
idea, actually, yeah. Let's go.
Lap around.
We'll keep an eye on you. Clint Barmes leads off for the Pirates in a 1-1 game. Thornburg really turned his season around, or at least put his stake in the ground to stay in the major leagues against the Pirates in a game that was halted by rain and ended up as a long extra inning ball game on a getaway day. And it was Thornburg who came in for Loesch. Loesch was unable to come back after a long rain delay, and he dominated the Pirates through 5 innings, and that kind of turned things around.
Yeah.
From a perspective point of view from pitching coach Rick Kranitz and Ron Renneke, and then he has just been able to continue to have success, and he's earned this start here today because of it.
And he continues to, you know, gain more confidence every time he goes out there, and making start number 4. And kind of interestingly enough, this is his first start here this year at Miller Park. All 3 of his previous starts have been on the road.
Made a start against the Cubs, the Giants, and the Rangers. He's pitched well in all of those starts. He's had at least 6 innings in all of those starts. And Rick Kranitz has liked what he has seen. There's a hot one, and that's going to get by Ramirez. Extra bases for Barmes. Tucks down in the corner. It'll be a leadoff double for the Pirates' 8th place hitter. And he's 2 for 2 today against Thornburg.
Tyler has not been putting himself in a dead fastball situation too often. He's been able to work ahead in the count. This is a 3-2 fastball. It was supposed to be away, ended up on the inner half, and Barmes able to turn on it just out of Ramirez's reach at third base. Second time and that the Pirates have had their leadoff hitter aboard, and both times it's been Clint Barmes.
Barmes scored the only run in the third inning. And our Charter Cable high-speed pitch. Look at these two starters. Thornburg is at 94. Charlie Morton at 95. Squares to bunt in the air, and Thornburg plays it on a hop, throw to first, and no chance.
Good base running by Barmes, knowing that there's nobody at second base. Thornburg kind of caught in no man's land. He really didn't have any choice but to get the out, because if he ran back at Barmes, there was nobody at second. And check it out. Watch Scooter Gennett. He's going to try and keep him close. He's over at first base. Thornburg would love to be able to throw to second, but nobody there.
So Charlie Morton with his second sacrifice bunt. Did not have one prior to this game today. And again, he advances Barmes. And now the Brewers are going to be forced to bring their infield in for Jose Tabata. Tabata drove in the Pirates' run in the third, had a single to left. This is a spot where Thornburg needs a strikeout.
Man, the changeup's been his strikeout pitch today. Both strikeouts coming on changeups.
And a base hit. And Tabata has driven in a pair today. Gives the Pirates the lead in the fifth. An RBI single. He's 2 out of 3 with 2 ribbies from the top spot of the order. And the two guys that you're not counting on big offense from, Clint Barmes and Jose Tabata, both delivered today with 4 hits.
Hey, you worry about everybody else, but Tabata, the leadoff hitter, gets a changeup and able to hook it into left field to join an infield. A one-handed swing on a changeup away. Not a bad pitch.
So here is Neil Walker. 2-1 Pirates. Walker almost hit one out in the third inning. He's got big power. He's not your prototypical second baseman. He's a big guy anyway. He's 6'3". Has hit 9 home runs this year. He's lost a little bit of playing time to Josh Hutchison, who has some power as well. And there's a base hit. I beg your pardon, Josh Harrison. As Walker singles, and the third hit for the Pirates in this inning. And now first and second with 1 out.
Well, Josh Harrison is going to start against left-handed pitching because Neil Walker not very good as a right-handed hitter. He's a switch hitter, but very good as a left-handed batter. Able to get that high pitch and hit it hard into right field.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting with the Pirates at second, because Hurdle has in Harrison a guy who's got some range and is a better defender than Walker. Walker is a bigger power threat. Harrison has the speed. He can do a lot with those two guys. Just a reminder that the Badger Sports Report is your all-access pass to UW football. Each week, Badger head coach Gary Anderson weighs in as Badger Sports Report gives you all the game highlights, features, and interviews to keep you up to date. Badger Sports Report Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. McCutchen, shallow left center. Gendel and Schaefer close, and it'll be Schaefer to make the catch.
That first pitch curveball from Thornburg, and McCutchen out in front. Boy, there's a gift out. You don't see McCutchen being that even out very often. Just a little bit out in front, got it on the end of the bat.
24, third baseman Pedro Alvarez.
And again, Pedro Alvarez will hit with men on base. He has stranded 3 today. Thornburg has struck him out, then got him to fly out. A run is in, 2 on with 2 away. Alvarez had a 4-hit game against the Brewers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, big time power, but you don't think of Alvarez as a guy that's going to get 4 hits for you. Had a good day at the old ballpark that particular day. He's having a nice year. Needs to tighten up the defense a little bit. That might be an issue in the postseason. Defense for the Pirates.
That skips away from Lucroy, and it's ball 3, and that might just open up a base for Alvarez if the Brewers want to pitch around him here. He's a big power threat, but he's in a slump right now, and since that 4-for-4 game, Thornburg missed with the changeup. Since the 4-for-4 game, Alvarez is now 1-for-22 at the plate, including the 0-for-2 today, and the Brewers are going to go ahead and walk him. So that will load him up, and that's going to bring up Marlon Byrd with the bases loaded.
Next batter, the right fielder, number 2, Marlon Byrd.
Marlon Byrd playing in just his 6th game as a Pirate. Made his Pirates debut against Milwaukee last week. Actually hit a home run in that game. And a key hitter for Thornburg. Bases loaded. Pirates lead by a run, and Byrd takes a ball inside. Tabata singled in the 2nd run. Walker had a single, and then Alvarez just walked. An intentional walk. There are 2 outs. On the corner, a strike. Good pitch. And needed that one. Byrd making a serious run at comeback player of the year in the National League. Hit just 1 homer last year. The season was over in August after a 50-game suspension. Dealt with some injuries. 1-2 the count. A fastball from Thornburg, his best fastball of the day at 94.
Gave him the fastball, and up in the strike zone, Byrd chases it.
Now 1 pitch inside the strike zone, and yet a ball and 2 strikes on him. And Byrd off the end of the bat, slices it foul. They are headed to the top of the 9th in Cincinnati today. Matt Latos out pitching Adam Wainwright, and the Reds lead it 7-2. Latos, by the way, is still in there. He's trying to finish this game against the Cardinals. Another 1-2, and Byrd, a swing and a miss. Lucroy steps on the plate to secure the strikeout, and the side is retired. That's a big one for Thornburg. He gets a strikeout with the bases loaded. The Pirates do score, but they only get one, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh.
The Pirates here 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th at Miller Park, and fans come out to Miller Park as the Brewers take on the Cubs. It's a 4-game series starting Monday, September 16th through Thursday the 19th. And for tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com and see Dale Swaim, Rob Deere, Chris Bosio, the Cub Brain Trust here in Milwaukee, the all ex-Brewer team.
Yeah, it's Cubs have a lot of those former Brewers at the helm over there. Of course, it'll be fun to see Dale Swaim, and the Cubs are in a rebuilding process right now, and they're starting to look ahead at next year. A lot like the Brewers, they've got a lot of young players they're keeping an eye on. Yeah, Brewers will see the Cubs twice. They go to Wrigley and then here at Miller Park in that final homestand coming up. Top of the order for the Brew Crew, you've got Aoki leading off, then Segura, followed by Lucroy. And now Charlie Morton pitching with the lead. Justin Morneau will take it to the bag for the first out. Well, it is a final in Cincinnati. And Matt Latos matching up against Adam Wainwright. And how about Matt Latos going the distance, 99 pitches. And a 9-inning win for Latos. Nice play there by Votto to end the ball game. 7-2. The Cincinnati Reds started the day 3.5 back with the Pirates and the Cardinals. And so depending on what happens here today, the Reds could be picking up a game.
The Cardinals have lost 3 of 4.
Latos starting to zero into a pennant race form. There's a little broken bat flare to right, a base hit for Segura. His first hit of the day. He'll take it, and a man on, the tying run for the Brewers in the 5th.
You see him get on the side of that two-seam fastball. Not much sink, but it did tail in on the hands of Segura. But you can see where Neil Walker's playing up the middle and just kind of slices it out there in the right field. So very good speed at first base for Milwaukee. Brewers already have a stolen base against Russell Martin. You figure Segura to try and steal one here.
Yeah, Logan Schaefer stole a base back in the 2nd inning. Segura has 38 stolen bases. He's been caught 10 times. Been stuck on 38 for a while. Segura still leads the league in steals. The two guys that are right behind him, Everett Cabrera is suspended for the rest of the year. Starling Marte of the Pirates has 35, and he is still on the disabled list. Lucroy has struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. Normally a very patient hitter. I'm not sure how that changes with Charlie Morton on the mound. Patient to give Segura an opportunity to steal a base. Segura's success rate stealing bases this year is 79%. For a guy who runs a lot, that's a good number. Brewers had the early lead today. They scored in the second on a Schaefer RBI. Pirates have scored the last 2 runs. There goes Segura, and a tough pitch to handle by Martin, and there is stolen base number 39 for Segura.
And another good jump for the Brewers at first base. I think Martin tried to be a little bit too quick with the transfer and lost the baseball. Not sure if, even if he kept the ball in his hand, if he was going to be able to make a throw. The pitch down and in, a tough pitch to handle for any catcher. The Brewers now 2 for 2 against Martin and Morton in stolen bases.
And Lucroy to the right side, a bouncer right to Walker. He hit it hard, but right at the Pirates second baseman. Segura does advance, but 2 men are out now. Because of all of the early swings, Morton's pitch count is in great shape right now. He's just at 64 pitches with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that's a result of that sinking fastball. Gets outs early and counts. He's not concerned about the strikeout. He's only got 2 today, but the 2 strikeouts have come with men in scoring position for the Brewers.
Ramirez jumped on the first pitch in the 4th inning and ripped one to center field. He's 1 out of 2 today. Tying run at 3rd in the 5th.
And the Brewers have had a man in scoring position in every inning so far. And right now they're 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Ramirez breaks his bat. Fly ball to right. And the side retired. 1 for 10 now, the Brewers. With runners in scoring position against Charlie Morton. 2-1. Pirates still lead.
Jason Rogers 2 for 3, a double, 2 RBIs in Huntsville's win over Jackson Sunday. Rogers hitting .356 after the Southern League All-Star break. He leads the league with 87 RBIs. He's a first baseman, 6'2", 260 pounds, but he has 7 steals in 9 attempts. Guys, the big man has some wheels.
Yeah, good to see you. Jason Rogers finishing strong. The minor league season has come to an end, and we'll start to see some of those players arrive to the big leagues here. The Brewers are going to be expanding rosters. Already saw Donovan Hand. A chance to chat with him before the game. Michael Blazek is here as well.
Austin Henderson's got my dog count going.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We thought we'd... these are my white coats behind me.
Oh, so Kuz, you have the official Dr. Wiener and Jim Henderson, you're saying?
Yes, and Donovan Hand. We've got more than just one.
All right, good. Well, that's good because kind of needed an official count for the hot dog eating contest.
They said there's a lot more room left on the paper, so they see I need to get after it a little bit.
By the way,
I'm sorry, our bullpen has come up at $60 a hot dog down here for everyone I do.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So,
well, that's nice of the bullpen. It's a boiler check.
It is a boiler check. Well, I'm looking to get active here a little quick here.
There's Morneau fouling it back. Kuz, while we have you here, can I ask you about Michael Blazek and what you know about him? Have you seen him at all? Have you talked to him? Talk about what he throws and what he brings to the table for the Brewers.
Yeah, I was fortunate to catch his bullpen today. He's got a very firm fastball. Throws hard, 95. He looked like he had pretty good rotation with curveball and slider. And he threw a good two-seamer. So I'm looking forward to seeing him pitch. It's going to be a good acquisition for us, another young arm that throws hard, and I think we're going to really like what we have in him.
Michael Blazek coming in the John Axford deal. And what's the bullpen dynamic, Marcus, with Axford out, and who kind of takes over the leadership role down there? What does it feel like now minus Axford?
I mean, it's a little different. We have so many young guys here, but now that Gorzelani's back in the bullpen, he and Gonzalez had some veteran presence, and just watching Hopper do his thing, that's enough in that, just as his routine he's got going on. What was the call? We got something going on?
Off to work. That's great. We appreciate Kuz doing that for us. That's great insight right there.
If duty calls, you got to shut us down.
It's nice.
That's a good insight. I mean, you talk to Marcus Hanel, and he, if anybody in this organization knows what a guy's doing and what he's working on. But, Marcus is kind of tight-lipped. He's not going to give away all the trade secrets as to what a guy's doing. But, he's a guy that knows pretty much everything you need to know about this pitching staff.
There's a swing and a miss. Thornburg strikes out Morneau. And the first out of the 6th inning. That was really a great example of, I think that is symbolic. What we were just able to tap into there, symbolic of what the bullpen is all about. Those guys have fun. They kid around. They're having a good time. But when that phone rings, it's impressive to watch everybody fall into order and spring into action. Well,
and they keep an eye on the game. I mean, I guess, every one of the relievers knows when he's going to be called on or when he has a chance to get in the ball game. Right now, it's Figueroa that's starting to get loose. So early in the game, it's the long relievers that start paying close attention. Jim Henderson and guys like that, Kinsler, they know that they're not going to be called on at this point, so they're a little bit looser early in the game, and they really don't get surprised. They watch what's going on. They keep an eye on pitch counts. They see what the game situation is, and when that phone rings, I mean, it's one of two guys that's going to get up.
Everybody kind of knows their roles. Those roles have changed a little bit now that Thornburg is in the rotation. As Martin bounces one to short, Segura makes the play for out number 2, and Thornburg with the bullpen active has 2 quick outs. You see the bullpen is a lot more full than it was when we started, and Mark is kind enough to wear the microphone. Some of the late relievers getting down there in the middle of the game. And the question is always, well, where are those relievers when the game starts? But they have their routine, and whether it's in the clubhouse or their workout routine.
Get the arm worked on, maybe hitting the exercise bike. I mean, they're not just laying around watching television, that's for sure. They're in there doing their pregame prep.
I always remember the Trevor Hoffman story, and Hoffman's preparations to pitch in a ball game, you just would see him in the 9th inning, but he would actually start in the 5th inning. And all the various exercises, the massage, the way he warmed up his arm and his body, that was a whole process. And then sometimes he wouldn't pitch.
And that doesn't even count the process that he goes through after he pitches in a game. I mean, it starts in the 5th inning, and then sometimes he could go an hour and a half after the game.
That's right. And don't we know it? Sitting on many buses waiting for him over the years.
Yeah.
These guys are incredibly dedicated to the specific inning they're working in. But we saw Brandon Kinsler earlier, and he was checking the scouting report. A guy you wouldn't see until the 8th inning, perhaps.
And that's the way it was. You know, the Brewers bus after a game off to the airport on getaway day would be typically about 50 minutes after a game. Everything's packed up. The training staff, Dan Wright and his guys, have everything boxed up and everything has been done. But with Trevor Hoffman, sometimes when he pitched, it was an hour and 15, hour and a half.
That's a foul ball. Just missed the bag.
Before the bus would leave for the airport. And that sometimes can be a bit testy when you're looking to head home after a long trip.
I remember that one trip in Colorado one year. Hoffman pitched in the game, and then we knew we were going to be waiting at that point. It took us longer to get from Coors Field to the airport than it did to fly to Milwaukee.
From the end of the game, yeah.
Right. But it was well worth it to have Trevor around for those couple of years. Little flare coming in, Aoki, and he's got it, and they finally retire Clint Barmison with the bullpen active. Tyler Thornburg, a 3-up, 3-down, 6th inning, and Figueroa will shut it down for now.
We've seen enough hot dogs here at Miller Park, but here we are. Pittsburgh leading Milwaukee 2-1, and the most famous thing going on here today is the sausage race. The next most famous, of course, is the game, and the next most famous after that is our hot dog eating contest. But check out the little weenies. There they go. Polish is going to win this one, it looks like. So our favorite hot dog guy just didn't pull it out. So we're rooting for him. What do you say?
We tried.
What are we at, 26?
We're doing well.
Augie?
We're doing well.
Maybe 2 more than you thought we were going to get?
Oh, but yeah, at least 2 more.
Awesome stuff. Here's the update. Marcus with 10. We've combined for 26. You got to love the money total. 52-20 so far. You know, Rock, when we were talking about this over the weekend, I'm thinking maybe we get $500 out of the deal, but it's amazing to me how many people, including the Brewers, have all chipped in to make this happen. Unbelievable.
Well, and it's cool that it goes to a great cause. That's why we want to do it. It's Dollar Dog Day. That's what started it here at Miller Park. Dollar Dog Day for this Labor Day game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so it's going to go to the Brewers Community Foundation. They have it earmarked for the homeless veterans organization in Milwaukee. It stays here local, and then the bullpen has chipped in. A bunch of the players are ponying up as well, and we certainly hope you can send in your donations as well. The Brewers Community Foundation. Scooter Gennett takes a called strike 3 and the first out of the 6th inning.
I certainly want to thank Sophia and Craig and Augie for being good sports down there and chomping down hot dogs for 3 hours, and a good call. They're doing most of the work, and we appreciate it. Good curveball from Morton, and of course Marcus Hannell.
Yeah, Kuz coming in kind of changed things. I think it added a little oomph to the pre and post game set out there. A little inspiration from the champion hot dog eater that he is, Marcus Hannell. Kendall down 0-2. Morton has a great hammer working today. His signature pitch, and there's another one, and he strikes out Caleb Gendel. Back-to-back Ks to start the 6th inning. And that's his equalizer against left-handed hitters.
And there are some that are into physics that say this pitch right here is an optical illusion. It doesn't really break. Take a look at this right here from behind Russell Martin. Look out. Back-to-back strikeouts, both with the curveball. He's got a good one. He really doesn't make a mistake with that pitch. It's amazing. Even in his start against the Brewers in Pittsburgh, everything down around the knees or lower. He just doesn't hang it.
Francisco, not a bad idea there. Trying to bunt down the line. All 3 infielders are on the right side, or 3 of the 4 infielders. They have a big shift on. Clint Hurdle does his shift a little bit differently. He puts his third baseman Alvarez essentially in the second base position on the right side. He keeps Barmas, the shortstop, in his normal place. Juan Francisco sitting on 18 homers, trying to join Gomez on the Powerball home run leaderboard.
I think if Ron Renicky had a choice, he'd rather have Francisco swinging away in a 2-1 game. 2 outs, nobody on. You want to at least get into scoring position.
And Morton strikes out the side. 3 left-handed hitters, 3 curveballs for the 3 strikeouts. And his best inning yet. Charlie Morton dialed in on the 6th. We head to the 7th.
And it's time now for our Ho Chunk Gaming Text the Broadcaster. We're out here during our hot dog eating contest, and Larry from Menominee Falls wants to know what's your preferred condiment on your hot dog. I'm going with the Coops brown mustard. Sophia?
Well, I'm a Wisconsin girl. I'm sticking true to the Secret Stadium sauce.
Not a girl.
A little bit of Coops with some ketchup is perfect.
A little combo for Jerry.
Ooh, combo.
Combination is perfect.
All right, it's our goal here to get our total to at least 30, maybe higher, before we are officially done here. So onward we go.
right.
Let the contest continue, right?
The
Buns
boiler alert is on.
Good job, guys.
Tom Gorzolani, next man up for the Brewers. So Thornburg goes 6 innings. He cannot win this game. He pitched well, though. 2 earned runs in his 6 innings. And now Tom Gorzolani out of the rotation into the bullpen. And he's first man out of the bullpen today.
His last appearance was on Wednesday at Pittsburgh, and he did lock horns with Charlie Morton and took that 7-1 loss. 2-5 in 10 starts, but a 245 earned run average and 32 relief appearances this year.
Well, Thornburg has made 4 starts for the Brewers. All of them he's gone at least 6 innings. And a 3-up, 3-down, 6th inning to finish his day. And now the Brewers at least hoping to get him off the hook for a loss here. Down 2-1. Charlie Morton's going to lead off for the Pirates. Morton, Tabata, and Walker. Tabata's driven in both Pittsburgh runs so far. The former Pirate Tom Gorzolani against his old club. Made his last start against Pittsburgh. And Morton into shallow center. That is going to fall. A base hit. And the Pirate pitcher singles. Labor Day baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. It's a beautiful day here in Milwaukee. Pirates in the throes of a pennant race. And the Brewers trying to disrupt that a little bit. Ron Renicky out to have a chat with Gorzolani. And
yeah, not sure what that's about, but Renicky certainly has something to say to Gorzolani, his lefty. Looking into the dugout. You don't see the one of the athletic trainers in there. He's going to wave somebody out to see if Gorzolani's okay. Here comes Trent. Let's check it out. You know, fastball, outer half. Gorzolani doesn't look like there's anything wrong, and looking into center field. Renicky saw something. Rick Kranitz on his way out, and whatever Renicky thinks or thought he saw, needs some reinforcements from Rick Kranitz.
it looks like Renicky already made the change. At least he made a motion for Figaro.
Nobody coming in. Now they are.
Yeah, so they're going to get Figaro up again. I believe that's what Renicky asked for. And Tom Gorzolani faces one batter, gives up a base hit, and is going to have to exit. So we'll take a timeout, injury timeout here. We'll be back in a moment. apparent injury. We'll try to get an update as best we can. And Alfredo Figueroa is now on the mound. And he'll get as much time as he needs. Our game summary is brought to you by Toyota. The Pirates lead it 2-1. Charlie Morton has gone 6 innings. He's coming off a 3 of 3 down 6, striking out the side. And has 5 punch-outs now. Thornburg pitched well, but Morton has bested him so far. Clint Barmas with a couple of hits. Tabata with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And Figueroa, remember, he was loosening the last inning, so it won't take him a whole lot of time to get ready.
Yeah, he pitched yesterday against the Angels, tossed a scoreless inning. He's called back up on Friday from AAA and took the roster spot of John Axford. Well, Ron Reddick apparently saw something that he didn't like with Gorzelani. Sometimes there's nothing that you can really notice. It's just something that maybe he wasn't able to get loose. Maybe Lee Tunnell called down and said, keep an eye on him. He didn't look right down here. And apparently that base hit by Charlie Morton, all it took for Reddick to replace him out there on the mound.
So an injury replacement and the final pitch by Gorzelani. Morton with the base hit.
I can't tell anything on that. I mean, it's just maybe one of those things is a little tight. The heads up that perhaps Reddick got from the bullpen before he came in.
So here's Tabata now, and Figueroa deals him strike one. Figueroa just back from the minor leagues. He was brought back up, and looks like he'll be with the Brewers for the remainder of the season. Part of the run of September call-ups. Actually, when Axford was traded, that opened the spot for Figueroa prior to the expanded rosters yesterday.
Now, if you're Lee Tunnell and you're watching, every one of your guys get loose all season long, their delivery like the back of your hand, and any little modification or something that doesn't look right, you're going to give an alert to the dugout before they come in. And whatever it was enough to get him out.
There's a line drive base hit. Jose Tabata is now 3 out of 4. And back-to-back hits to start this inning. 3 hits, 2 RBIs today for Tabata. And the Pirates are threatening in the 7th, 2 on with nobody out.
Fastball pretty much right down the middle of the plate, about mid-thigh high, and Tabata hits it hard back into center field. So the Pirates have something going with nobody out. All started by Charlie Morton, the pitcher.
Figueroa could use a double play ball here. It's got Neil Walker, who can change this game quickly with his power bat. And that one is hit deep. And Neil Walker, a 3-run home run. That's what you were afraid of right there. Walker strikes again. And he gives the Pirates a 5-1 lead, his 10th home run of the season. And a no-doubter to deep right center.
Yeah, got behind with a breaking pitch. Walker sitting dead red, looking for fastball, got it, and does what he does. I mean, he's got good power as a left-handed hitter. Every one of his home runs this year have come as a lefty. Figueroa gave one to hit, and he didn't miss it. And now the Pirates with a 4-run cushion.
And that one hurts. And what a nightmare inning for the Brewers. 2-1 game. Thornburg out after 6 good innings. Gorzelani having to leave with an injury. And then Figueroa coming in to give up back-to-back hits. Andrew McCutchen Scooter Gennett on a hop. And McCutchen is retired. The first out went right over the head of Figueroa. Sounded like he broke his bat, but he hit it firmly.
Yeah, got in on his hands. Last time up, McCutchen a first pitch curveball. He flied out to center. And this time, Figueroa able to eat him up inside and get him out.
So here is Alvarez now. With one away, 3 runs are in on the Walker home run. Big swing, 0-2 the count. Figueroa an 0-2. Alvarez didn't bite. This crowd got very quiet after that Walker homer. Taking it from a 2-1 Pirates lead to 5-1. Walker's hit a couple of 3-run homers against Milwaukee in the last couple of weeks. Had one as part of a comeback by the Pirates last week in Pittsburgh. You look up and down this Pittsburgh batting order, and the additions of Bird and Morneau, and then John Buck when he plays. Now their lineup is more balanced. You put guys into different roles. A guy like Jose Tabata, who has 3 hits today and 2 RBIs.
Yeah, just wait till Marte comes back, and that's going to be even a better lineup.
That ball is hit deep into left center field. Back is Schaefer, and that's going to one hop off the fence. Alvarez with a 2-strike double. His first hit of the day. And the Pirates with their 4th hit in the inning.
A very potent offense, this Pirate ball club. Gives you an idea how good Thornburg was early on today. A 4-seam fastball out away from Alvarez. It was supposed to be away. He got a little bit too much of the plate with it. He just hammers it over the head of Schaefer in center. And you talk about the additions. How about the addition of Russell Martin and A.J. Burnett? I mean, those are 2 veteran guys that have been through the wars before, and they've been to the postseason. That's invaluable to this Pirate ball club. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of years. It just didn't have enough to finish.
Now Burnett in his 2nd year with the Pirates, and Martin coming over from the Yankees. He signed a 2-year deal with Pittsburgh.
Had some good leadership on the pitching staff and the position player side, and you got a manager that's been in the World Series.
Glenn Hurdle took the Rockies to the World Series in 07. Here's a broken bat, and Scooter Gennett will make the play for out number 2. Alvarez advances. 2 outs now for Justin Morneau. Criticism of the Pirates the last couple of years, and they did not finish well the last 2 seasons when it looked like they were going to be in a position first to have a winning record, second to make the postseason. They didn't make many moves. The deals that they made were small and minor with roll pieces here or there. Nothing like what they've done this year. Neil Huntington, their general manager, has decided to push the chips to the middle a little bit, and they've been able to use their minor league system to acquire some of these players. They've actually got into their budget a little bit because there are significant salaries to pay for the final month. So you got to give them credit for going for it and perhaps learning their lesson after 2 years standing pat.
Not going to make the same mistake that they did last year. Right at the All-Star break, what were they, 14, 15 games over 500? And yeah, They're going to make a big time run at the end this year. They've got the pieces to do it. They've got one of the better pitching staffs in the National League. Good starters. And even Jason Grilli out there, bullpen's been terrific.
Yeah, Grilli's coming back. He is underway with a minor league rehab now. And he's on his way back. Could be a week to 10 days for him as Morneau flies to left. Gendel wants it, and that will retire the side. But big damage done. Neil Walker, a 3-run homer, and he makes it 5-1 Pittsburgh. Well, we turn it over to Rob Edwards, Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy.
Milwaukee Brewers and all of Major League Baseball as we honor our great nation with the singing of God Bless America, led this afternoon by Bob Kozlowski from the Brewers Guest Relations Department.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Bottom 7, Miller Park, an update on reliever Tom Gorzelani, who left the game at the start of the 7th inning. Brewer medical personnel telling us that Gorzelani left the game with left shoulder tightness. That's all we know right now, guys. We'll check in to the clubhouse after the ball game and give you an update if we find out any more information.
All right, Mark, thank you. And let's hope that's not something that puts the rest of the season in jeopardy for Gorzelani. Hopefully it's just a little tightness he can improve from quickly. It certainly changed the way the inning was shaped up. Figueroa had already warmed up with the bullpen. Looked like his time had passed. So Gorzelani got the ball in the 7th, faced one batter. Figueroa came on, gave up 3 hits, including the 3-run homer by Walker. So it is 5-1. Charlie Morton is rolling again. Well, this guy has been impressive for the Pirates. Took him a while to get his season started, at least in the big leagues. Coming back from surgery last year as Schaefer bounces out. And 1 gone here in the 7th, and Charlie Morton has retired 6 in a row.
Yeah, coming off surgery. Yeah, missed a considerable portion of last year and into this year. The elbow surgery that he was able to overcome, and he's a different pitcher. I don't remember Morton as being such a sinker ball kind of guy. I know that he's always able to keep the ball down pretty well, but its sinker curveball has been very good for him, and really it's only been the 2 pitches. That's all he's needed. He's been able to locate very well with both of them.
Uni Betancourt on the first pitch, pinch hitting, and he pops up to Walker for the second out. Well, our AT&T Twitter poll, and we asked you who will eat the most hot dogs, and I don't blame you for going with Marcus Hanel. He is a hot dog eating machine.
Well, Sophia 31%. How's she doing down there? Do we have an individual breakdown perhaps?
I think Dr. Wiener is keeping an individual breakdown, but we're kind of keeping the numbers with those 3, the 3 television people, and then Marcus is kind of standing on his own.
There we go. Look at Kashawn.
He's hanging right in there.
He's doing a nice job. I had Craig for maybe 3 or 4 today.
In Marcus's defense, he's been warming up pitchers. He's actually had to work,
which could help him, working some of it off. I'm impressed with Craig Kashawn with 10 hot dogs.
There you see Aoki at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Well, you know, he put on a good showing today. Brought his A game. He fasted yesterday.
Augie was gone for like 3 innings.
That's true.
Wonder where he went.
Yeah, we're doing all this to raise money for Brewers Community Foundation, spending off the Dollar Dog Day today at Miller Park on a Labor Day. So we appreciate everybody jumping in with us, raising a ton of money too. Aoki drops a bunt down. That's a beauty. No chance.
Yeah, forget it.
Infield hit for Nori Aoki. A 2-out infield hit, and the Brewers have a base runner.
Now, typically, you don't want to try and bunt your way on with 2 outs and nobody on base. You try and swing away to get into scoring position, but Nori, a stolen base threat. Boy, that's a perfect bunt down the line. There's no chance for anybody on that play. It deadens it beautifully right down the third baseline, so the Brewers have a man on and look for. I guess Nori's not going to try and steal a base down by 4 runs.
Gene Segura, who is 1 out of 3, had a single to right, also stole a base back in the 5th inning. Brewers have been dreadful with runners in scoring position today. 1 for 10 at this point.
They've had opportunities in the first 5 innings. Morton with a 3-up, 3-down 6th. Was able to get the first 2 in this inning before the Aoki bunt.
One and 2 on Segura. Charlie Morton, after the elbow surgery last year, he came back and he went through a long minor league rehab process, and there were a couple of setbacks in his minor league rehab. He actually had some shoulder problems coming off the elbow surgery, and then the shoulder tightened up on him. They had to stop him and restart him again. So he ended up spending about 2 months in the minor leagues trying to come back. He finally made his first big league start in mid-June. He's been fantastic lately for the Pirates, starting to get into a groove, and he looks like he's going to be a significant piece. That is a base hit for Segura, just over the outstretched glove of Barmes. So Segura singles, 2 on now, and now the ball gets away. Wait a minute. Umpire is going to wave everybody over.
Yeah.
So Aoki, Segura's got he's going to third. That's going to send Aoki to the plate. They get 2 bases from the field.
Yeah, from where they were when the throw originated. And once it goes into or out of play, it's 2 bases from there. And here comes Clint Hurdle.
I was looking at Bob Davidson. He was doing some air traffic control right there. And Aoki scores, Segura to third, and Hurdle wants an explanation from Davidson.
Well, if Nori was at second base when the throw that caused the ball to go into the dugout. There it is right there. And certainly Aoki's going to be at second base, so you get 2 bases from there where he started. So I don't know what Clint Hurdle's arguing about. Now, had Aoki not gotten to second base yet, he would have just been allowed to go to third base.
And again, the question is a fair question. How do you make a play like that when you're in a pennant race? That is as routine as it gets on a throw coming in from left field, and it's just a lack of concentration.
That's all on Alvarez right there. But you know what? The error is probably going to go down on the left fielder, but it doesn't. It's Alvarez's error. He just whiffed it on the short hop, and error number 26.
Well, those are the kind of things that can cost you a ball game. You give team life. So a run is in. It's 5-2. An unearned run on Morton. And now Lucroy is at the plate with Segura all the way to third base after a single and a 2-base error by Alvarez. Lucroy, the kind of bat to give the Brewers a spark here, and that just missed him. Curveball that got away from Morton.
Yeah, Luke wouldn't mind to get hit by that. The curveball to bring Ramirez to the plate. This might be the last hitter for Morton. There's a curveball. Looks like it backs up a little bit. Look at Luke. He wasn't getting out of the way. He was trying to get a little bit of a grazing blow on that one.
Powerball home run count. The team total is now at 135. Brewers without their big bats like Corey Hart. Of course, Ryan Braun suspended. And Aramis Ramirez has missed a lot of time this year. They've been able to maintain a pretty good home run pace. 4th in the league in that category. As Lucroy strikes out and the inning is over. But the Pirates give the Brewers a gift run. It's 5-2 now, and we head to the 8th. Have the lead, and we are headed to the 8th, and we're going to get our first look at a player to be named later. The John Axford deal went down last week, and the player that came in return to the Brewers, Michael Blazek. And here he is on the mound in a Brewers uniform for the first time.
Yeah, he spent his entire professional career with the Cardinals, starting in 07. Made his major league debut back in June 22nd against Texas. That combined for a 197 earned run average with 9 saves and 36 relief appearances between AA and AAA with St. Louis. Making his Brewers debut. Talked to Marcus Haniel about Blazek. Has a good fastball with some run to it. And a couple of different breaking pitches.
Well, Blazek just 24 years of age. Out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Not a big guy, but a big arm. And the Brewers are anxious to see what he can do. I'm sure he's dealing with some nerves. Always want to make a good impression your first time out. And has had very little major league experience. Blazek in a 5-2 Pittsburgh lead will face Russell Martin to start it. Blazek pitched just 11 games this year for the Cardinals. All of them out of the bullpen. 11 relief appearances.
And Blazek throughout his minor league career was averaging at or above a strikeout per innings pitch, which is always a good sign that he's got very good stuff. He's got that live fastball in the mid-90s. 96 with that last one.
His ERA over 6 in the big leagues, but it's really 2 bad outings where he gave up 3 runs apiece. He gave up 3 runs to the Astros back in July, and then had a 3 earned run outing against the Reds in August, about a month ago. So we'll give him a chance to get his feet wet and see if he can find new life with a different organization. I think the Cardinals are hoping the same out of John Axford. Martin sends one to right. Aoki is there. And out number 1, Blazek. With his first out as a Brewer.
And Blazek 6 feet, 200 pounds. And as you mentioned, not a huge guy, but big enough to be able to get something behind that fastball. Born in 1989.
Sad, isn't it?
Bringing them in young, aren't they?
Blazek made some starts in the minor leagues this season. He split time between AA Springfield in the Texas League and AAA Memphis in the PCL. Split time between the rotation and the bullpen. Most of his games were as a starter. Great numbers there between the two. Now trying to transfer that to big league success. Barmes has 2 hits today. 2 out of 3, scored twice. Jordy Mercer has taken over as the everyday shortstop for the Pirates. Gives Clint Hurdle a very good utility man and backup in Barmes. He's an excellent shortstop as well.
Yeah, been a rough year offensively for Barmes, but a good day today.
Out in front of that one, a little pop up to Segura. 2 outs.
Well, it's Miller time in the Miller Lite Beer Pen every Friday night at Miller Park. Fans 21 and older can get a Lowe's bleacher ticket and a free T-shirt for just $23. Visit Brewers.com/beer pen for details.
Well, Garrett Jones will be announced as the pinch hitter. Charlie Morton goes 7 innings. 2 runs, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts for Morton. Trying to beat the Brewers in back-to-back weeks. Oh, what a play. That's how you do it with the shorts on. Nice. That is a big league play, and so much so it's our shining moment of the game. Courtesy of the Marshfield Clinic.
Yeah, fully stretched out and able to flip it nicely to a fan, and well done.
That is beautiful.
I think he's going to want a DVD of that.
Yeah, we can accommodate. Our guys love making DVDs for people. Well done, young man. Yeah, stings a little, but it was worth it. 2-2 to Jones. Got him. Hey, that's a good debut. 3 up, 3 down, and a strikeout of Garrett Jones. Michael Blazek, welcome to Milwaukee. See if the Brewers can mount a comeback. Give them a chance to win one today.
Downing more than 30 hot dogs during this ball game, but we've got one more bite to go. One more bite to go, and we're going to hit what's going to be our total, my friend. Dr. Wiener says it's 31 just on the set and 10 from Marcus Handel, so that's 41. And Sophia, we're talking some pretty good money after the Brewers Community Foundation matches, right?
Well, it's great to see both BA, Rock, our crew, the Brewers bullpen backing Marcus Handel, some of the players like Marco Estrada, Kyle Loesch, Willie Peralta. So look at that money raised, nearly $6,000. So really, it's worth it, Kreger.
The Godake is going to be worth it, no doubt, Augie, isn't it?
It's been a lot of fun.
And don't forget, the Brewers are going to match that number as well. You saw Felix P.A. He comes in for Tabata in left field as Clint Hurdle will strengthen his defense. And we are headed to the 8th now. Ramos Ramirez leading off in a 5-2 ball game. Morton is finally out. He pitched a dandy today. Morton goes 7 strong with just 2 runs, 1 earned. Tony Watson, first out of the bullpen for the Pirates.
And Clint Hurdle is going to force Ron Rennick to go to his bench. Bring his right-handers on. But yeah, Charlie Morton back-to-back starts against Milwaukee. Only 1 earned run.
Bouncing ball to short. Barmas plenty of time. And a low throw dug out by Morneau. Ramirez retired. You talked about Morneau earlier. We've seen a lot of Justin, of course, over the years as a Twin, and that interleague matchup with the Brewers each and every year, the home and home. Morneau is an excellent defender. It's a pretty tight defensive team anyway with the Pirates outside of Alvarez, but he's going to make them even better. Jeff Bianchi will pinch hit for Scooter Gennett.
Now, still another guy that they've added to their roster with postseason experience. Justin Morneau is a member of the Twins. Can't stress enough how important it is to have guys in your clubhouse that have been through all this before.
Yeah, while Pirates fans feel that anxiety of 2 decades without a winning season, I think they put together a group of players now, especially as they've gone and made trades, that they look like they stack up with anybody, not just in the National League, but anybody in baseball right now. They have a lot of depth. They've added great pieces, veteran pieces. Their pitching was always there, their starters. If they get Grilli back and he becomes what he was before the injury, the forearm injury, I mean, they're right where they want to be in every spot on their ball club. Offensively, defensively, starters, relievers.
Might be the deepest team in the National League. I mean, when you talk about the guys that they have on their bench and their starters, I mean, Garrett Jones is having a tough time finding playing time.
Yeah, he and Gabby Sanchez.
Right.
Those are pretty good bats off the bench. If need be, John Buck gives them 2 outstanding catchers that can both hit. Now hit him or a foul ball. That was a foul ball. Before all the trades here, just a couple of weeks ago, I felt like the Reds, even with the Cardinals' success, I felt like the Reds had the best team, the best balance, the most depth. Of course, the hammer in a roll is Chapman. But now, after what the Pirates have done over the last week, I'd put Pittsburgh right there in that category.
Yeah, they've got a potent offense, and they've got a pretty good lineup up and down.
Slow roller to Alvarez. And a good throw. 2 up, 2 down.
And one of the best starting rotations, one of the best bullpens. I mean, one thing they're going to need to do is shore up the defense. And as we talked about earlier, I think Morneau is going to help in that regard. He's always had good hands around first base.
There's Caleb Gendel. He takes a strike.
Pirates with the 3rd best starting rotation as far as earned run average go, and the 2nd best bullpen earned ERA. They had 2.71. Only the Braves better.
Every team that is in postseason contention, while they'd love to get to the playoffs, want to try to avoid that 1-game play-in, that wild card game. Started last year. Gendel, little jam shot to second base, and that is a 3 up, 3 down inning. The Brewers go quietly as Tony Watson puts up a 0 in the 8th. After winning a series against St. Louis, Pittsburgh trying to win this opener. Don't forget our Brewers Live postgame show coming up, Labor Day edition. And Marcus Hanel will be joining the set. Appreciate Marcus coming on with us today. He's had the microphone on. And he's given us some great insights. Also been participating in the hot dog eating contest we have going today. Jeff Bianchi will take over at second base after his pinch hit appearance. And Rob Wooten is on the mound, and he's trying to get things worked out on the mound. It's been a struggle for him the last couple of times out.
Yeah, he's had a couple of shaky outings, including yesterday. He took a loss, gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Has allowed runs in each of his last 3 appearances. And before that, he had not allowed a run in his first 10.
Bring a sign, get on TV. And they're still having fun here. Back to school tomorrow, young lady. And we want to send a shout out to all of those teachers. The rooms are ready. You're ready for the children to start up. And we thank you for all you do for our kids. And all the parents say, don't let the door hit you in the rear end on the way out.
And good luck to the teachers. Yep.
I hope everybody has a great school year. Take care of your teachers as well. Treat them right. Be nice to them. Felix P.A. batting for the first time. PA's been down in the minor leagues playing for the Pirates. Was in an independent league last year. His career in jeopardy, and now look at him playing in a pennant race.
Yeah.
Still got a lot of speed, an excellent defender.
And former Chicago Cub. The Cubs thought he was going to be their center fielder for many, many years. Just not able to get on base enough. Got blazing speed. But you can't steal first base.
Two and two. Wooten deals. And he just got a piece of it. Now the Reds beat the Cardinals today 7-2. Pirates trying to remain atop the National League Central with St. Louis with a win today. Reds got a complete game from Matt Latos, and he beat Adam Wainwright today. Latos finished that game in fewer than 100 pitches. Bianchi, a routine ground ball for out number 1. And Latos, 9 innings, just 4 hits. Wainwright gave up 6 earned runs in 6 innings. Other pennant race games. Rangers are in Oakland today. A's have a 2-0 lead over the Rangers. That game's in the 3rd inning. Tampa Bay Rays, after being swept in Oakland, they'll start a series against the Angels. Rays are in the middle of a 10-game West Coast road trip. Line drive right to Segura. Neil Walker lines out. 2 outs. But American League East is tightening up as well. Red Sox have opened up a 5.5 game lead, and then there is a big battle going on for the 2 wild card spots. Got the Orioles still in there, the Yankees, the Indians, A's, Rays. That feels like one that's going to come right down to the end as well.
Yeah.
Dodgers have a nice comfortable lead in their division in the West, and they are in Colorado today. Rockies lead 3-1 in the 2nd inning. McCutchen to left. On the run is Gendel, and that ball's off the wall. McCutchen on his way to second, and he's in there with a double. 2 more hits today for the MVP candidate, Andrew McCutchen.
And didn't even get all of it. That was down toward the end of the bat and able to knock it off the fence. 2 for 4, a walk. From McCutcheon, you can see him out in front. He hooks it. A little bit of a humpback liner out there. Top spin and hits about midway up on that wall in left field.
Well, it's a 3-run lead for the Pirates. The Brewers cannot afford to go down anymore. Renicky will make a change here with 2 outs. Wooten is out. Gonzalez with Pedro Alvarez coming up. The former Pirate. Gonzalez trying to keep the Pirates at 5. The Brewers are down 3. They have the bottom of their order due up in the 9th inning. And Gonzalez, another guy trying to get his season turned around. Had a good run for Milwaukee through most of the summer, but August was not kind to Gonzalez. Pedro Alvarez with 2 outs, coming off a double his last time up.
Yeah, left-handers have been able to handle Alvarez pretty well this year. A 189 batting average.
The National League leader in home runs. Oh, big swing.
Wow. And only 3 of his 32 home runs have come against a left-handed pitcher. Yeah, high fastball up and in. That's a good spot to throw him right up there.
Yeah, and down he goes. So Gonzalez sticks to the game plan. And Alvarez is down on strikes. The Brewers with a fighting chance. We go to the bottom of the 9th. They are down 3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Brewers. Well, the Pirates in the throes of a pennant race, and they have a 3-run lead going into the 9th inning. And the man filling in for Jason Grilli as the Pirates closer, Mark Melancon. He's done a good job for him. He's 9 saves.
And as you would expect, that .90 earned run average, the best amongst National League relievers. Got his last save on August 23rd at San Francisco, so it's been a while for Melancon, and has allowed just 1 earned run in his last 14 games.
Juan Francisco will start it. Brewers need base runners. Francisco doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. Brewers have 2 runs. The 2nd run came in the 7th on an error by Alvarez. An unforced error that led to an unearned run against Charlie Morton. Pittsburgh hopeful to get Grilli back in a week to 10 days. He's coming back from a forearm injury. When we were there, he was pitching in a simulated game and said he felt good. A lot of high fives that day. That's a big piece for the Pirates to get back, and if he can be what he was before the injury, look out.
Yeah.
It gives him a lockdown combo in the bullpen with Melancon and Grilli.
And made the All-Star team just about as automatic as any closer in the game before he got hurt.
And a swing and a miss. Francisco strikes out. Martin secures it at first. And 1 away.
And that's the old equalizer for Melancon. That breaking pitch goes straight down and keeps it down in the dirt with 2 strikes. Clayton Hurdle has a lot of reasons to smile. He's got a good ball club.
So here is Logan Schaefer, who drove in the first run in the 2nd inning. The Brewers had the lead. Pirates tied it in the 3rd. Went ahead in the 5th, and then a big 3-run home run by Neil Walker in the 7th inning. Oh, and 2 now on Schaefer. It's been a miserable homestand so far for the Brewers. Getting swept by the Angels and 2 outs away from dropping the opener to the Pirates. That is on the heels of a series win on the road in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, and a 4-2 road trip. Brewers are right back at it tomorrow. Giovanni Gallardo on the mound against Garrett Cole. And then Wednesday is the final game of the series, Liriano and Peralta. And Melancon strikes out Schaefer. 2 up, 2 down, 2 Ks. As good as you can do it.
Cut fastball. It was 91 miles an hour. Just a little bit of movement to get the bat off the baseball.
Well, the Brewers down to their last out, and it'll be Chris Davis pinch hitting. Well, we appreciate you playing along with us. Don't forget, you can send your donations to the Brewers Community Foundation on our hot dog eating contest today. Dollar Dog Day at Miller Park. Having fun on Labor Day as Davis drops one into right field. A pinch hit single for Chris Davis. And the game's still alive for Milwaukee. Now going back to the top of the order.
And just get one more base runner on and try and tie this baby up. Of course, it's going to be tough with Melancon out there. The cut fastball. This one stays up. You remember the cutter that he got Schaefer on with a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That one stayed up, and Davis didn't try and pull it. He just punches it into right field.
Here is Aoki now, top of the order. 2 hits today. Also been hit by a pitch. On base 3 times. Chopper to second. Walker coming in. And he makes the play, and the Pirates keep it rolling. Pittsburgh has won 3 of their last 4 ball games. And they will remain atop the National League Central Division standings, and they are alone now after the Reds beat the Cardinals earlier today. So the Pirates win at 5-2 behind Charlie Morton and a save from Melancon, his 10th. Time to check in with Craig. It's Brewers Live, and it's coming right now. What do you have for us, Craig?
Well, Brian, we've got plenty. We'll get inside the Brewer clubhouse here from Ron Renneke, as always. Plus, Marcus Handel, the bullpen catcher of the Brewers, a special guest during our post-game show as well. And we're talking where all this money we raised today is going. Stay with us.